In a dimly lit room, Ethan Miller knelt, hands clasped tightly, as if holding on to a fragile hope. Candlelight flickered, casting long shadows that danced across peeling wallpaper. He whispered, "Is anyone there?" The air grew thick, metallic, biting at his lungs. The flame stretched unnaturally, twisting into shapes that felt alive. Floorboards vibrated beneath him, as if echoing an unseen heartbeat. A blinding white light burst from the candle, searing his vision. Ethan staggered, eyes wide, as a tall, molten silver silhouette emerged, edges shifting and glowing. No wind. No footsteps. Only weight pressing on his chest. "You have been seen," resonated inside him. Heart racing, he fell to his knees, overwhelmed by awe and terror, unsure if he was ready for what had come for him, yet sensing the profound importance of this encounter. Ethan fell back, knees hitting the floor with a soft thud, still staring at the glowing presence before him. Who are you?" His voice trembled, barely a whisper. The air felt thick with weight, each breath sharp and metallic. Memories of his lost faith, his failures, and his loneliness pressed against him. The room's shadows no longer moved independently, yet a tension lingered. He could feel unseen eyes, observing, waiting. "I don't understand. Why me?" His voice cracked with emotion. Fear and awe battled within him. The silver form remained silent, serene yet imposing, as though time itself slowed to observe his reaction. Ethan's mind raced, trying to reconcile logic with the impossible. He remembered Reverend Samuel Hayes' words, "Faith isn't the absence of doubt, it's choosing to move forward despite it." Ethan's trembling hands reached out, but fear froze him in place. The silhouette's glow pulsed gently, like a heartbeat in the room. He thought of the empty nights, the unanswered prayers, the guilt he carried from choices past. I need guidance," he whispered. A faint warmth spread from the figure toward him, brushing against his chest, calming yet electrifying. Time stretched. The air vibrated with energy he couldn't name, a presence that demanded attention, yet offered comfort. He shivered, unsure if it was hope or fear. He could feel his heart opening to something beyond comprehension, a seed of faith germinating in barren soil. A single thought struck him sharply. Life would never be the same again. The air shifted, carrying a faint whisper, unintelligible yet insistent. Ethan froze, listening. Memories of childhood prayers, his mother's gentle voice, and the Sunday sermons washed over him. Tears formed, unbidden, sliding down his cheeks. I've lost my way," he admitted aloud, voice raw with vulnerability. The figure remained silent, motionless, yet its presence seemed to lean toward him, as though drawing out his confession. The room felt simultaneously expansive and confining, like the universe had shrunk to hold this moment. Fear was still there, gnawing at his insides, but a tentative courage began to rise. His chest tightened as he felt, for the first time in years, a sense of being witnessed and acknowledged. He sank to the floor by the hearth once more, exhausted, yet a subtle warmth brushed his soul. The sensation was fleeting, yet undeniable, an echo of the divine perhaps, or a call to action. "I must understand," he whispered, voice hoarse. Shadows of the past swirled with the light of the candle, and a quiet strength began to bloom within him. Ethan realized that fear and awe were inseparable companions, urging him forward. He resolved, then and there, to pursue this awakening, to face whatever trials awaited, and to embrace the journey his heart had long denied. The night outside remained still, yet within him a storm of purpose quietly stirred, promising transformation beyond his comprehension. The morning sun cut through the thin curtains, casting stripes across the worn wooden floor. Ethan Miller, 28, male, still in his gray hoodie, sat at a small kitchen table staring at an old notebook. The page was filled with half-formed prayers and sketches of symbols he didn't understand. A chill ran down his spine as memories of the silver silhouette returned. He shook his head, muttering, "It's just imagination, right?" His fingers traced the edges of the paper, trembling. Outside, the wind carried a low hum, almost melodic, as if calling him. A sense of purpose, though vague, began to build in his chest. Every creak of the house felt like a whisper, urging him to act. The day felt heavier than normal, laden with invisible expectation. Deep down, he knew this moment was pivotal, marking the first true test of his resolve. Ethan walked outside, the crisp morning air biting at his cheeks. His steps crunched over frost-tipped grass as he approached the edge of the nearby forest. Trees stood tall and silent, their bare branches scratching at the sky. Anxiety and excitement mingled in his chest. "I have to know. I have to understand," he whispered, clutching his notebook. Shadows stretched unnaturally between the trunks, flickering with the subtle motion of hidden wildlife. The forest seemed alive, watching him with patience and curiosity. A faint glow appeared briefly between the trees, catching his attention. His heart thumped faster. The air smelled faintly of earth and smoke, grounding him as he stepped closer to the unknown. Every instinct screamed caution, yet an undeniable pull guided him forward. The deeper Ethan ventured into the forest, the colder and darker it became. Each step seemed to echo unnaturally, amplifying his heartbeat. Branches scratched his arms, and a faint fog began to curl around his legs. He opened the notebook, tracing symbols that now glowed faintly under his fingertips. This is happening," he breathed, disbelief mingling with awe. The melodic hum from before grew louder, reverberating in the canopy above. He paused, squinting at a shimmering figure moving between the trees. It resembled the silver silhouette, but fragmented, less defined, more spectral. Fear clutched at him, but the pull of understanding overrode hesitation. He whispered, "Show me. Teach me. I'm ready." A soft breeze rustled the leaves as if the forest itself acknowledged his courage. A sudden gust of wind swirled leaves around Ethan, and the fragmented silhouette solidified into a tall silver figure. Its molten edges glimmered in the filtered sunlight, radiating power and calm simultaneously. Ethan froze, notebook clutched to his chest. "I've been waiting for you," the voice echoed inside his mind, neither harsh nor gentle, just resonant. He stepped forward, unsure if he should flee or bow. Energy radiated outward, raising goosebumps on his arms. The ground beneath him seemed to pulse subtly, in rhythm with the figure's presence. Fear and awe wrestled for dominance in his mind. He swallowed hard, whispering, "Teach me, guide me, I need to understand." The figure extended a luminous hand, inviting him closer without words. Ethan's legs trembled, but he took the first step forward, fully committing to the unknown. The silver figure's glow intensified, filling the clearing with radiant light that softened the mist and warmed Ethan's chilled skin. Symbols from the notebook lifted into the air, rotating and pulsing in rhythm with the figure's energy. Ethan's breathing steadied, awe replacing fear. "Everything you see, everything you feel, is connected," resonated the voice within him. A profound understanding swept through his mind, the knowledge both exhilarating and humbling. He realized his life was no longer entirely his own. It was part of a larger design, a sequence of events unfolding with purpose. Energy swirled around him, lifting leaves and dust into delicate spirals. He felt ready to face the challenges ahead, guided by this newfound awareness. Forest seemed to exhale, acknowledging his transformation, and a subtle smile broke across Ethan's lips. Ethan emerged from the forest clearing into a vast valley blanketed in mist. The silver figure faded behind him, leaving a soft trail of glimmering light. He shivered, sensing an unseen presence watching from the shadows. The valley stretched endlessly, jagged cliffs rising like sentinels, bathed in the orange glow of a rising sun. Each step he took echoed with a metallic resonance, as if the earth itself hummed in anticipation. Thoughts of failure clashed with newfound clarity, but he pressed forward, clutching his glowing notebook. Faint whispers floated through the valley, unintelligible yet comforting. A cold breeze tousled his hair, carrying scents of wet stone and distant pine. He realized the path ahead was not just physical but mental, a test of will, courage, and understanding. Every instinct urged caution, but determination propelled him into the unknown. As Ethan climbed a steep ridge, shadows began to twist unnaturally, forming vague human-like shapes that moved in unison with the fog. Anxiety gripped him, yet he sensed these were tests, reflections of his own doubts. "Face them, face myself," he muttered, stepping carefully over slick stones. The whispers grew louder, harmonizing with the rhythm of his heartbeat. A sudden gust scattered the mist, revealing a distant lake shimmering with a strange silver sheen. His reflection, distorted and flickering, mirrored the fragmented silver figure from the forest. Fear threatened to paralyze him, but a spark of courage surged. He drew a deep breath, tightened his grip on the notebook, and forced his gaze forward. Each step felt heavier yet more purposeful, as if the valley itself weighed his resolve. Reaching the lake's edge, Ethan noticed ripples forming intricate patterns, glowing faintly in silver. The wind died suddenly, leaving a haunting silence that made his heartbeat sound deafening. He knelt to touch the water, and the ripples solidified into visions of possible futures, some filled with triumph, others with loss. Each vision resonated with emotion, pulling on his core. He gasped, realizing that understanding required not avoidance, but acceptance. "I can't run from what's inside me," he whispered. The silver glow intensified, casting ethereal light on his face, revealing a mixture of fear and awe. He realized the valley was a reflection of his own inner struggle, each shadow and shimmer a lesson in courage, wisdom, and restraint. With that clarity, he stood upright, resolved to face whatever emerged next. From the depths of the lake, a massive shadow rose, its form dark yet semi-transparent, rippling like liquid silver. Ethan's pulse quickened. "I am the doubt you carry," it spoke, voice echoing inside his mind. The silver figure's guidance from before seemed distant, replaced by the oppressive presence of his own fears. Ethan's knees trembled, but he straightened, clutching his notebook tightly. Lightning-like glimmers sparked along the shadow's edges, illuminating jagged contours of stone and water. "I choose to move forward," he shouted, his voice cutting through the valley's oppressive quiet. A sudden gust of wind carried the words, dispersing mist briefly, and the shadow writhed, uncertain. Ethan's courage became a tangible energy, radiating outward, countering the dark form with every step. Ethan stepped forward, each footfall ringing with resolve. The shadow recoiled slightly, as if sensing his unwavering intention. The silver glow of the notebook merged with the lake's light, forming a protective aura around him. "I am not afraid. I am learning," he murmured, feeling clarity wash over his mind. The shadow shuddered, its edges dissolving into strands of mist, leaving the lake calm and pure again. A soft voice, familiar yet distant, whispered, "You are ready." Ethan exhaled, a weight lifting from his chest. The valley no longer seemed threatening, but alive with possibility. Sunlight fully broke through the mist, illuminating his path forward. He smiled, recognizing that the journey was far from over, but his courage and understanding had become his guide. Ethan ventured deeper into the valley, now bathed in golden afternoon light. The air shimmered with heat waves, and distant waterfalls sent fine sprays across the moss-covered rocks. He felt a strange connection with the land, as if each stone and tree whispered ancient secrets. His notebook pulsed gently with silver light, resonating with his heartbeat. Shadows no longer threatened him but moved in harmony, guiding him toward a hidden path. Birds with iridescent feathers circled above, reflecting sunlight in fractured rainbows. He inhaled deeply, tasting the crisp scent of pine and damp earth, feeling energy flow from the environment into him. Every step seemed to awaken something inside, a clarity he hadn't known before. The valley's vastness no longer intimidated him, it invited exploration. His mind filled with questions, yet his courage remained unwavering, strengthened by the trials he had overcome. Following the hidden path, Ethan arrived at a crystalline archway formed from intertwining vines and luminescent flowers. Light filtered through the blossoms, casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the stone floor. A soft hum filled the air, vibrating in his chest. The silver glow of his notebook brightened in response, as if recognizing the significance of this place. He stepped closer, feeling both reverence and trepidation. The air smelled of honey and rain, a fragrance that seemed almost alive. Ethan traced his fingers over the arch's carvings, each glyph responding with a faint pulse. The whispers from earlier moments returned, now clear. Your journey shapes the world as much as it shapes you. He paused, absorbing the gravity of the message, knowing the path forward required wisdom, as well as courage. Passing through the arch, Ethan stepped into a vast cavern bathed in silver-blue luminescence. Stalactites hung like chandeliers, dripping faintly into crystal-clear pools. The reflections danced on the walls, creating moving constellations. He felt an overwhelming sense of history, as if generations of knowledge were etched into the cavern's stones. His reflection merged with the notebook's glow, forming fleeting images of himself in countless possible realities. A ripple of excitement surged through him. He realized that understanding the world required seeing not only what was, but what could be. Every sound, water dripping, wind whistling, notebook pulsing, contributed to an intricate symphony. Time seemed suspended. The cavern existed outside ordinary rules, inviting him to discover truths hidden in plain sight. In the cavern's center, a pedestal rose, carved from luminous stone, holding a sphere of pure silver light. Ethan approached cautiously, drawn by its radiance. The whispers swelled into a chorus, affirming his choices and courage. As he reached out, the sphere responded, spinning gently and casting intricate patterns on cavern walls. His notebook merged its glow with the sphere, creating a radiant connection. Ethan felt an energy surge, a realization that this world was not separate from him. He was part of its rhythm, its light and shadow intertwined with his own. Doubts melted, replaced by an expansive clarity. He understood the lessons of the past valleys, forests, and lakes, and for the first time, he truly embraced the harmony of fear, courage, and understanding. Ethan lifted the glowing sphere, feeling it pulse in tandem with his heartbeat. The cavern resonated with energy, light streaming in crystalline beams, illuminating every corner. He realized that the trials had prepared him not only to endure but to guide, to shape the world with awareness and compassion. As he stepped toward the exit, the cavern seemed to bow in quiet reverence, the silver light fading gently yet leaving an indelible glow within him. Outside, the valley had transformed. The golden sunlight brighter, the waterfalls singing with renewed vigor, the wind carrying whispers of wisdom. He smiled, knowing that every shadow, every challenge, every glimmer of fear had led to this awakening. The journey continued, but he now walked it with eyes wide open, heart steady, and spirit alive. Ethan emerged from the mystical valley into a tranquil meadow, bathed in the soft glow of dawn. Dew sparkled on blades of grass, reflecting the first rays of sunlight. The air was crisp and filled with birdsong, each note vibrating with life. His notebook hummed faintly, a gentle reminder of the knowledge he carried within. The trees swayed, their branches dancing with the morning breeze, casting moving shadows across the ground. He paused, savoring the serenity, feeling the culmination of his journey settle in his chest. Each step forward felt lighter, imbued with clarity and calm. Memories of challenges and trials surfaced, now framed as lessons rather than burdens. The valley behind him shimmered, almost acknowledging his passage. With a deep breath, he adjusted his hood, ready to rejoin the wider world with renewed vision and purpose. He approached a small village nestled between rolling hills, where life moved at its own gentle pace. Smoke curled from chimneys, mingling with the morning mist. Villagers went about their routines, unaware of the extraordinary events that had unfolded in the valley. Ethan noticed children playing near a stream, their laughter like silver chimes in the quiet morning. A sense of belonging settled over him, and he realized that his journey had given him more than knowledge, it had given him perspective. The notebook's glow dimmed, no longer urgent but a comforting presence. As he walked along cobblestone paths, he felt the interconnectedness of all things, each person, tree, and stone part of a greater harmony. Every step was deliberate, grounded, yet full of anticipation for what lay ahead. At the village square, Ethan paused near an ancient oak, its branches stretching like open arms. Locals glanced curiously but smiled, sensing his calm aura. The lessons of courage, wisdom, and harmony resonated in his posture and gaze. He opened his notebook, pages shimmering faintly, revealing sketches of the valley, the glowing sphere, and the archway. Each drawing told a story of growth and transformation. He understood that the journey did not end here. It was a cycle of learning, reflection, and action. Children gathered near, peering curiously at the glowing pages. He shared stories in gestures and smiles, letting experience speak where words might fail. In their eyes he saw echoes of his own curiosity, the spark of future adventures waiting to unfold. Ethan moved toward a gentle stream at the edge of the village, kneeling to touch the clear water. Ripples spread outward, reflecting the sky in perfect clarity. He closed his eyes, feeling the lessons of the journey wash over him like the water itself. Every hardship, every shadow of fear, every triumph had led to this grounding moment. His notebook, now faintly aglow, seemed to merge with the light of the rising sun. Birds alighted nearby, observing silently, their songs harmonizing with the wind. He felt a profound sense of balance, knowing he could face the unknown with confidence and grace. The stream whispered secrets of the earth, the flow of life mirrored in his own heartbeat, steady and sure. As dawn fully broke, Ethan stood on a small hill, overlooking the village and valley beyond. Light spilled across the landscape, illuminating every curve and ridge, painting the world in golden hues. The wind carried the scent of pine and blooming flowers, filling him with quiet joy. He raised the notebook, letting its final glow fade into the sunlight, symbolizing knowledge shared and lessons internalized. The journey had transformed him. He was no longer just an observer, but a participant in the rhythm of life. With a deep breath, he stepped forward, walking toward the horizon where new adventures awaited. The valley, the village, the streams, and the forests remained behind him, yet their essence traveled with him. He smiled, knowing that endings were only beginnings in disguise. Ethan returned to the mystical valley, now bathed in the silver light of a rising moon, its glow blending with fading dawn. Shadows stretched long across the valley floor, tracing memories of past trials. The glowing sphere lay dormant in the center, quiet and reverent, as if acknowledging his return. He stepped lightly on the soft moss, feeling the echoes of his earlier steps beneath him. His notebook vibrated gently, a reminder of lessons now fully internalized. Leaves rustled in response, whispering secrets of the wind and time. Each breath brought clarity, connecting him to the pulse of the land. Reflections of previous challenges shimmered in small streams, their waters calm, a mirror to his growth. Ethan felt a profound peace, knowing the valley would endure beyond him, a sanctuary for those seeking understanding. His heart expanded, carrying gratitude, humility, and purpose forward. He approached the glowing sphere and knelt beside it, tracing its surface with cautious reverence. Faint pulses of light responded to his touch, rippling across the smooth glass-like surface. Memories of the journey, the challenges, discoveries, and triumphs flashed within the sphere's luminous core. Ethan understood that the sphere was not a prize but a mirror, reflecting the growth he had achieved. The wind carried distant echoes of the ancient archway's hum, harmonizing with the rhythm of the valley. He exhaled slowly, grounding himself in the present moment, feeling the cycle of learning complete yet infinite. The notebook in his hand captured these impressions in delicate sketches, each line imbued with newfound wisdom. A sense of responsibility settled over him, the knowledge no longer his alone, but a beacon for others who might wander here. Rising, Ethan walked along the valley edge toward an ancient stone archway, its carvings faintly glowing under the moonlight. Each step echoed softly against mossy stones, carrying memories of all who had passed before. He paused under the archway, feeling the hum of energy resonating through his chest. The sky above was painted in silver and violet, stars beginning to pierce the lingering mist. He raised his notebook, aligning it with the carvings, capturing the energy in precise flowing sketches. The valley seemed to breathe with him, synchronized, as if the land itself approved of the knowledge preserved and shared. Every motion carried intent, every gaze acknowledged the continuity of the world beyond human perception. His presence was quiet yet purposeful, the culmination of all journeys undertaken. He turned to overlook the valley one last time, observing the streams, hills, and silent sphere. A sense of permanence and legacy settled deep within him. Each discovery, each lesson etched in his heart, felt ready to be shared beyond these hills. The winds carried the faint laughter of children from the village below, intertwining with the soft rustle of leaves. Ethan felt the responsibility of knowledge, but also the joy of its gift. The glowing sphere dimmed as if acknowledging its role fulfilled, and the notebook shimmered one last time, capturing the essence of the valley. He exhaled, feeling the circle complete, ready to return to the world carrying not just stories, but wisdom. The moonlight shimmered across the waters, mirroring his resolve to honor and share the journey. Turning toward the path that led away, Ethan began walking, the moonlight guiding him through a soft mist. Each step felt lighter, infused with purpose and clarity. The valley behind him glowed faintly in memory, no longer a place of trials but a beacon of knowledge and harmony. He carried not just his notebook, but the wisdom of experience, ready to illuminate paths for others. The journey's end was also a beginning, and the horizon stretched endless before him. Stars flickered gently above, mirroring the glow of his inner resolve. With a final glance he smiled, feeling the unity of his journey, the valley, and the world beyond. He walked on, a traveler transformed, a legacy in motion, leaving the valley serene yet forever alive. Ethan reached the edge of the valley, the path stretching into an uncharted forest where the first golden rays of dawn filtered through ancient trees. Birds sang softly, their notes weaving with the distant rustle of leaves. Every step on the soft earth carried the memory of his journey, and the promise of what lay ahead. He adjusted the strap of his notebook, feeling its weight grounding him in purpose. Mist lingered in pockets between roots, curling around his boots. The air smelled of earth, moss, and distant rain, invigorating and grounding at once. Shadows of twisted branches played across his face, mirroring the complexity of his experiences. Sunlight began to touch the treetops, creating a dance of light and dark that mirrored the lessons of his past. He exhaled slowly, embracing uncertainty with calm determination. Ahead, the forest seemed alive, pulsing with stories yet untold, inviting him to step beyond the familiar. Stepping deeper into the forest, Ethan noticed the canopy thickening, shafts of light breaking through in scattered golden beams. Birds darted across sunlit patches, and distant water murmured over stones. He paused beside a wide-rooted tree, tracing its bark with fingers, sensing the energy embedded for centuries. The notebook opened in his hands, sketches and notes from the valley now mingling with fresh observations. Tiny insects buzzed around, catching sunlight in miniature prisms. Each breath carried the scent of pine and damp soil. The air vibrated faintly, like the low hum of something alive yet hidden. Ethan moved cautiously, alert, aware that every step could reveal new mysteries. His eyes scanned for patterns, signs, or echoes of previous lessons. The forest both a puzzle and a sanctuary. He felt a profound connection to the rhythm of life surrounding him, as if the forest was an extension of the valley's wisdom. Ethan reached a small clearing where a crystal-clear pond reflected the sky like polished glass. The wind was still here, and the forest seemed to hold its breath. He knelt to touch the water, seeing ripples echo outward in perfect circles. The reflection showed not only himself but glimpses of past journeys and lessons learned, blending like threads in a tapestry. He whispered aloud, sharing thoughts and gratitude with the world, feeling unseen spirits of the forest respond with rustling leaves. The notebook captured faint glows on the paper, as if drawing energy from the pond. Ethan's chest swelled with awe and reverence, he understood that the world held infinite layers of knowledge, waiting for those willing to observe and listen. Time seemed to pause, giving him clarity and grounding before he ventured further into the unknown. Rising, Ethan moved along a narrow trail that wound up a gentle rise, revealing a panoramic view of the forest, stretching endlessly. Sunlight kissed the canopy tops, casting golden highlights across the valleys below. Birds and distant waterfalls added melody to the scene, an orchestra of nature. His notebook was tucked securely under his arm, each page a map of knowledge, observation, and reflection. He paused, closing his eyes, feeling wind brush against his face, carrying scents of flowers, pine, and distant rain. This view was a reward for his persistence, a moment to integrate lessons learned with the awareness of limitless possibilities. The horizon shimmered, hinting at new lands, unseen valleys, and mysteries awaiting exploration. His steps felt purposeful yet light, guided by both curiosity and the understanding of the world's interconnected rhythms. Every fiber of his being resonated with the beauty and complexity of life around him. Finally, Ethan reached a ridge where the forest ended, opening to a vast horizon of rolling hills, rivers, and distant mountains. The morning sun painted the sky in warm hues of gold, amber, and soft lavender. He paused, breathing deeply, feeling the culmination of all journeys and the infinite possibilities ahead. The notebook, worn and full of sketches, was a testament to his growth and the lessons gathered along the way. He stepped forward with quiet determination, fully aware that life was an endless journey of learning, discovery, and connection. The wind tugged gently at his hoodie, as if urging him onward. Behind him, the forest shimmered in soft morning light, a sacred archive of wisdom and experience. Ahead, the horizon stretched unbroken, promising adventures, challenges, and insights yet to be discovered.